there's nothing inherently wrong with a country possessing spyware for security purposes. The real concern lies in against whom it is used. That is what the Supreme Court observed today when hearing the matter of the Pegasus spyware. The Supreme Court heard a batch of petitions which have challenged the alleged use of the Israeli software Pegasus by the NDA government. It's been alleged that it was used to snoop on journalists and political leaders, among others, which rights activists argue has been an egregious violation of citizens' fundamental right to privacy. Now, the Supreme Court has said that it will not disclose any report that touches the security and sovereignty of the country, but indicated that it may address individual apprehensions of privacy breach. A bench of Justice Suryakant and Justice Koteswar Singh said the report of the technical committee should not be made a document for discussion on the streets. Nupur with the details.
Primary prayer has been some of the petitioners have been asking that the entire report by the technical panel that was constituted after the Supreme Court judgment should be made public. But the Supreme Court, in very clear words, has made it clear today that when it comes to national security and sovereignty, it will not touch upon any such report, and it will not issue any directive to make all the parts of the report public. It said that such reports are not to be used for public discourse on streets, and it cannot be made available to anyone. But at the same time, the top court said that if certain individuals from the civil society have this apprehension that they might have been under any spyware attack, or they might have faced any hack, they can in fact approach the top court. The top court will go through the report and then tell them if their name crops up in the report or not. So the Supreme Court said that it is essential that we balance national security against individuals' right to privacy. So, and in fact, in a very important observation, Justice Suryakant again reiterated that using a spyware there's nothing wrong if a government uses spyware, because ultimately he also said that given the current scenario, the kind of position we are in right now, these prayers cannot be entertained that the entire report should be made public. It of course, however, said that if there are individuals, they can file written submission, and the court will proceed in that way, but it categorically denied any prayer seeking to make that report or a redacted version of that report public.
All right. Well, to talk more about what the Supreme Court said today, we're joined by Mukesh Chaudhary, founder and CEO of Cyber Ops. Thank you so much for speaking to us. So interesting observations there by the Supreme Court, saying there's nothing wrong in the government or our security authorities having a spyware in these times, that this is something that's needed. But of course, the concern is who is being spied upon.
So again, because there will be a chaos in the public and people here in the country, because they'll be fearing about their data privacy and their digital privacy, because they'll be fearing that whether on the name of country's security or sovereignty of the country, whether our data, someone can access our data without our permission. What are the criteria? Is there a guideline? Like, is there any authority who is only authorized and under, in case on the name of national security, if some agency or some officer is misusing anyone's digital privacy or the data, then who to approach and where to go, how to take it forward? This will be a major question amongst the people here in the country.
That's right. And, so the Supreme Court also saying that this report will not be made public because it is a matter of national security, especially given, what's just happened, the Pahalgam attack, and in fact, inferring to that. But at the same time, the Supreme Court has said that individuals, now, when this entire controversy had broken out with the, Pegasus spyware, and that various political leaders, activists, people connected to certain individuals, there were reports that they'd all been spied upon. At that time, it had been a huge hue and cry. And now the Supreme Court is saying that if an individual is concerned about having been spied upon, they are free to approach the Supreme Court, but the report will not be made public.
That is why transparency is very much important here in the case, because again, if the people are not trusting the organizations, and people, if they have a distrust against the government also, so then there will be a state of fear amongst the people that how their data is going to be used. And the opposition parties, they will also in this fear that yes, anyone's mobile phone can be accessed anywhere and any department or any organization can use the data in any way. Definitely, country's security and sovereignty is at the topmost priority, and nation comes first. This is obvious, but again, other countries like US, they have also earlier US agencies, they have also moved to the court for terror cases, wherein like they have asked permissions from the court to hack into mobile phones or computer systems, wherein it is not possible for them to obtain the data through legal channels. So there should be a proper system, proper approvals from some authorities. There has to be a protocol and a policy which should be transparent, and everyone should be aware of it.
Right, and that is the fear, isn't it, with this? Because at the time, back in 2021, when this entire matter was outed, it was various news organizations, and they had gone through this information, and it was revealed that many, and not just in India, across the world, people had been spied on. And in India, it was the kind of names that had come up. I remember it was a former election commissioner, Ashok Lavasa. There was Abhishek Banerjee, Trinamool Congress leader, Rahul Gandhi. There had been some lawyers, some journalists, some activists. So really a matter of concern, and so for the moment, how do matters stand with what the Supreme Court has said today?
So here also, if we go by the Indian IT Act, if we see, because in Indian IT Act, Section 66 says that whatever is mentioned in 43 IT Act is crime, and 43 says that unauthorized access to a protected system is a crime. So unauthorized access to a protected system, who gives authority to any agency, it is not clear anywhere. So that is why there is a problem for people to understand whether we go by the law, we go by the section, or this new amendment wherein in this case law or this new finding by the Supreme Court judgment. So now, will there be a new law? There will be changes in IT Act. Will there be a change in the IT Act amendment? Will there be authorities to the national agencies or certain agencies to get access to the mobile phones unauthorizedly on the name of national security, or whether there has to be someone who is breaking the national security, like terror organization or terror outfits for against whom will give them permission first, then only they'll be able to access their mobile phones and data.
That's right.